do? Good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of XP. Today, we're going to be assertive. We're going to be alpha-like. We're going to talk with confidence. Because imagine if everybody viewed things with just a little bit of confidence and how that would look. Got to break open the iced tea. Let's get into it. We are live over on Abstract if you're wanting to check that out as well. You just check out the live streams on Abstract. It'll show up there. Otherwise, sure. The other day, 65,000 American dollars, 65,642 American dollars was spent on a number one cereal for a LeBron James moment on NBA Top Shot. Are we back in 2021? That's what a couple of people think that are very notable individuals within the industry. We'll highlight their thoughts momentarily. But holy sugar. $65,000 for a Top Shot moment. We're back. Foot traffic in downtown Toronto is now 43% lower than it was before the pandemic. All right. Well, that's just a headline, right? But does that mean that people are, just kind of hanging out at home, doing things digitally in a way? Maybe things are getting a little bit expensive. Is that fiat currency? Is it just the aspect life's getting more expensive? Let's dive into that a little bit. So StatMuse here had a crazy comparison. Steve Nash, the NBA legend, Canadian too, played for the Phoenix Suns. His entire career, $147 million was earned. Devin Booker on a singular 2-year extension in United States of America dollars, $145 million. Fiat currency. Unreal. Let's jump over to other side news here right quick. Ibaka changed his thing to board.f. Ibaka, that's going to be a red card. We got to talk to him. What in the hell? Why are we changing his name? That's crazy. Main storyline of Other Side revolves around the pull between creation and chaos. It's what those two forces in Other Side before Curtis, trailer shown. Blue enters the Coda Temple and takes the last drops of Soma, and then all hell breaks loose. Some background. I'm not going to go into the rest of it. I thought it was going to be kind of interesting. Unless you're following like Bored Apes, it's not going to be anything for you. But listen, if we're getting lore, if we're getting excitement, holy hell, sign me up. And speaking of excitement, Michael Saylor's strategy now has, there's 100,000, there's a million, 24 billion unrealized profit on the Bitcoin investment. Holy sugar. Holy sugar. So Bill Noble's coming out on the timeline, right? On his streams. Always highlight them because I think they're great. But here's the first 55 seconds from yesterday's stream with Bill Noble. What's going on? I'm Dolly.
We are live. This is the market update. Paging Jerome Powell. Cleanup on aisle 6. Amazon Prime Day, a bust. What does it mean for crypto?
True. Actually, I don't think I even have that in my news cycle here. This was yesterday, but right now, Amazon's like Prime Day, where it's like discounted deals and whatnot, was down something like 40% or something crazy.
Crypto week coming up after Coinbase does a tweet with the American flag, say, let's pass and act.
So you don't obviously have to watch the entire stream of his thing if you do decide to go and check it out. But he brought up and said that the rally in crypto, and I don't know, I'd maybe argue with this, but there was a post from Brian Armstrong that he's referencing, and maybe it was done on the Coinbase account too, but I think it was just Brian Armstrong that was like him just simply quoting, like saying like, let's pass and act as if it's confidence. And there's kind of a, hey, he knows that something big is coming. We know that next week we have that crypto week, which we've highlighted on the podcast and here over the past several days. And when I was doing that interview with Travis John, for the RWA Segments podcast, he was talking about how it seems like for a lot of things within crypto in 2025, it's this like wrapped up bow package that is this narrative that's getting delivered and intentionally highlighted unlike ever before.
Big. What does it mean for Bitcoin? What does it mean for altcoins? Can altcoins take off more than one day? Want to see the charts? Hey, how about altcoins versus Bitcoin? Bitcoin dominance. All the charts that the Patreon group, both Platinum And the Spartans got this morning. You're not going to believe what's going on here.
I don't know. It was a good show, but Bill's always pretty bullish, and it's funny because he's been screaming about alt season and crypto flying here. Turns out to be right. Netflix says 50% of their global users now watch anime. Bodes kind of well for that whole anime chain idea over at Azuki, if that is such the case. Very interesting. No video game series has ever had as much of a positive impact on their audience as these did. And then there's a screenshot of Guitar Hero and Rock Band. What absolute phenomenally developed video games they were. It's wild because I feel like the average person right now would not go out and buy the electronic drum set or the controller guitars, any of that stuff. Maybe it's a cultural thing, but I feel like that happened at exactly the right time in history. Wagner calls himself Swagner. I forget what his first name is, but over at Star Atlas, the CEO and founder is saying 2021 levels returning soon. Basically, that just means very big mood. Position yourself accordingly. All right, Captain. Speaking of 2021, do you remember Lonely Alien Club? Sold for 1.5 ETH. This collection, I don't think is on any chart or anything under the sun. Yo, Corwin, 50% of Netflix subs watch anime. It's probably Pokemon. You're absolutely right on that front. But look at this. The floor collection, $23, right? This one went for 1.5 ETH, which is like several $1,000s. Why? I have no idea. But for the sake of repeating the same story, because it's fun, there was somebody back in the day that purchased an absolute ton of these because they sold a CryptoPunk for, I don't know, 40 to 50 ETH. Now, obviously, these were a little bit higher back in the day, but I think they went out and swept 80 and then did a huge thread saying this is why the Lonely Alien Space Club, which I guess they're just called Lonely Aliens now, my head's in the way of. That's history right there. That's history. Love it. Other deed number 7 just sold for 100 ETH. Look at the people that are coming back with conviction. Now, I can't really relate or understand why that Lonely Alien went for the amount that it did. But if you have the people that are out there spending this money that's getting these headlines, right? Like, here's the thing. We talk about things that happen within the industry, and how many times is it relating to what the price of something sells on versus the positive experience within the game or something else, right? Like, that's sort of just the way that it is, not the way that it's always going to be, but it's definitely gotten attention. And this isn't the first time we've seen this, but I still love the concept of it, where your wallet online is just done in the theme of whatever your favorite video game is, whether it's World of Warcraft, RuneScape, maybe a various Blizzard game like Diablo. It's a cool concept, and I think makes people feel at home. They like the things that they like. Yo, check this out. Okay, so the title of today's stream is, I forget what the title of the stream is here. What is it? The People Are Ready. The People Are Ready. So when there's an avenue to go down, I think the average person, if they see, hey, you know what, there's some major flaws within systems, they're going to go down this new path. So here's something that's ridiculous. Remember the whole fires within Los Angeles and the Palisades? It was awful. Apparently, they're now fining people that have any debris on their property $722. And they're already doubling the fine. Okay? Right? So that system sucks, right? Obviously, don't live in California, but God, that's awful. Okay, well, here's another one. One single trash can, 149 United States of American dollars and 71 cents of American United States dollars. For a single trash can. How is there not a better system than this? And then over in Ontario, there's a $50 million fraud scheme of these executives and contractors. And then you keep going down the list, and then you go into insurance, where somebody was quoted for a CAT scan at $1,638. They find out that, oh, they have insurance, so they bump it up 5x to almost $7,000. People are aware. The information, the transparency, the stuff that's needed is coming down the pipeline so fast. Here's another example. Somebody, cosplay, people go out, they go to festivals, they post things. I don't know if this is like a Zyra skin from League of Legends. I don't know if this is like Lord of the Rings Sauron thing. They posted in a Reddit thread. Some mod went on a power trip. They banned them from the thing. There's nothing inappropriate or bad about this. The systems are going to get changed. People are asking for change, and it's going to happen so friggin' fast when everybody is united on a single front. Anthony Pompliano. People were talking about the Great Depression a few weeks ago, but stocks went to all-time highs instead. Choose your information sources carefully. And I agree. I don't really give a whole lot of takes around things. Like, I kind of give perspectives and my thoughts, but I'm never really like, hard, fast, and true on a certain thing because... Listen, I'm fairly open-minded on things, but it's hilarious to look at these things and people calling for the worst times ever. And I mean, listen, things are looking pretty green. How unbelievably stupid this whole saga went around. So if you're familiar, you can have a Great Depression and record stock prices. Yup, fair enough. Okay, it's called inflation. Fair enough. Listen, I'm open-minded to things. You're not wrong. But listen. We got everything that's going green. I'm not complaining just yet. So you're probably aware, but the Hawktua lady, right? She comes around and goes mega viral. And then all of a sudden gets into this crypto coin for no reason, right? She's like, okay, I'm going to get into this space. And this was after, or maybe even during, a whole bunch of other celebrities trying to do these tokens. It just simply... none of them ended up working, right? They all went horrifically wrong. And on Haley, specifically, people were on all of the social media saying, hey, don't do this. Reputable people from in the crypto industry were like, we understand. We get like, this might seem good. You might have gotten caught up with some bad actors, but like just straight up, no, don't do it. And then she does it anyway. And then you face palm and you're like, okay, we have another one. And then it comes out today that she just straight up sold her account. So got famous from the Hawktua clip, starts a podcast, decides to launch a meme coin, stops the podcast, and then sells all of her social accounts. What are we doing? What? Like, okay, maybe that's like the record for the fastest way to like have success in quotes and just bail as quickly as possible. But like, good God. Germany's seeing the current Bitcoin price after dumping their Bitcoin at $50,000. So, right to the information sources here, for argument's sake, well, who the hell was in the German government that's like, yeah, guys, we should probably get the hell out of our entire holdings. Usually they have that thing of, it's like in NFTs. You buy one to hold, buy one to flip, and then buy one to... dump immediately or whatever. I forget what the three things are, but it's like the fact that I sold all of it for that. I mean, what are we doing? And then we got some news over on ApeFest. Stoked to share that ApeChain is the official blockchain partner for this year's Complex Con. That means VIP access at the con for apes attending ApeFest, same weekend in Vegas, token-gated experiences, and of course, a sick booth. Nobody does IRL activations better than BYC. I know how Germany feels. I swapped my ETH on base into USDC 2 days ago. Shit. Not Corwin, that's crazy. Hell yeah. Well, listen, you never know. We're acting all bullish here and whatnot. Tomorrow we can go straight to zero. You know what I mean, baby? Hell yeah. Okay, so not to pitter patter, beat around the bush. Maybe speak like a little bit, kind of like I don't know how to feel about this. Actually, let's. I don't want to speak on this without actually knowing what this is. So let's give a little bit of like a kind of read here, okay? So October 25th to 22nd, Yeet and Friends, Pezzo Pluma, Central C, Young Thug. This is okay. So it's a music conference. Oh, okay. Hold on a second. See, this is why you got to do your due diligence. I thought this Complex Con thing was like the permissionless or the NFT NYC or something like that, and I'm like, man. Why in the heck are we going out there and spending so much money to sponsor these crypto events that respectfully have seemed like they've really teetered off and not had the same effect, right? There was consensus in Toronto earlier this year. It had the friggin' biggest names in crypto that attended it. I didn't see anything about it in the weeks leading up to it in terms of advertisements. During and after the event, I think we covered maybe 2 to 3 clips that produced for, a 3-4 day event, whatever it is. And the tickets, if you wanted to go, were like $500 to $800. And if you wanted to do VIP, it was like $1,400. Now, granted, Canadian dollars, we can make arguments about whatever, right? A little bit cheaper if you're buying with American dollars. But it was like, why are people spending a whole bunch of money for that? But now that I've educated myself and I know what the hell this ComplexCon thing is and that it's a concert, okay, that's cool. So they're offering VIP access, same time as Ape Fest in general for it. I love it. I love it. And this is why you always have to do your due diligence on things. And then Daniel, never forget Bitcoin to 1 million is the most hated, coped, and seethed rally in history. Never before has an investment been so ridiculed and mocked by society over and over for years and years and still not owned by 95% of people. Just getting started. Listen, I like the confidence, and I think that's one thing that people are going to start doing. The one thing that I'm like a little bit kind of iffy about, though, is there's going to be so many people that have just like completely checked out of the space. They didn't want to have anything to do with anything. Maybe they had a following at one point, and then we're just like, screw this industry. And then they'll be like, oh, hold on. We're going to come back. And then we're going to be here, be like, hold on. You bailed in the darkest of days, and now we are back. But going over and looking at the charts here, Bitcoin up 3.68% on the day, 3.5. Seems like things generally are keeping like kind of close. If you go for like just 24 hours, Pengu, listen, the Pudgy Penguins, they got listed on another exchange today. It is absolutely absurd how fast Pudgy Penguins are going. Now, on that topic, we do also have to remember that there's a whole bunch of ETFs that are supposed to come out, right? Like, isn't there one regarding XRP? Isn't there? I mean, I think that there was lesser ones on the XRP front, but I know for Solana, there's been a ton. We have the Canary Capital with Pengu that's coming out. I wouldn't, if you told me that Sui was doing an ETF as well, I'd probably say, hell yeah, like, I haven't seen it, but yeah, I mean, Story IP actually up 20%. That's kind of crazy. Anson Bull tweeted Pengu yesterday. All these people, they got the information, Unbelievable. But I mean, we just look at this, right? And things are starting to fly. I did actually have a conversation with the XTC network, by the way. If you do check out the link down below, if you're on YouTube or in my bio on X for the RWA Segments podcast. The XTC network one was, I want to say, like 3-4-ish weeks ago. So you have to go back just a little bit, but very good conversation in terms of learning. Pepe here. So this is also another thing that I'm assuming you guys probably have the same I'm struggling here. The same thesis around is now on the compare and contrast game. On the NFT side of things, we had for a very long time the crypto punks versus Bored Ape narrative, where Bored Apes flipped punks for a little bit. Obviously, punks have taken off, and then it's like, all right, punks are up there, and then now it's sort of like Bored Ape Yacht Club versus Pudgy Penguins. And that's on the NFT front. But then you go over to these meme coins, and the conversation has sort of kind of felt like, all right, so it's Pengu versus Pepe versus Doge, where it's sort of a three-headed beast. I feel like for a large part, it still feels like everything regarding Doge is sort of based on Elon. I don't know why. It just doesn't resonate with me like at all. Pepe, all right, it's kind of it, but I mean, as somebody that's been in the Web3 space, like I feel like if I'm going to pick one of them, not that I'm going out here and like putting any sort of like sizable money out there, I'm just hypothetically speaking, I don't know. I feel like I'd probably connect with Pengu. Right. And the same concept that we used to say before of, well, if I have a choice between X amount of brands, and I know this chocolate bar is something that's in Web3 that's utilized in the blockchain, that's, a part of an IP of, any sort of like character or IP within the space. I mean, the rec drinks thing is another really cool idea. Like if I go into a store, I mean, I really don't like any carbonated beverages, and I don't know if the rec drinks are carbonated or if it's simply water or if it's something else. And if anybody's had a rec drink, please let me know because now I'm tweaking about it. But, if it's within the industry, I mean, I'm open to it. I'm hella down with it. And I think a lot of people are going to kind of have that perspective on things. But that's going to be it for this edition of XFeed. I hope you guys are enjoying the weather, which seems to be like hot as hell every single day, unless it's rainy where you are. Markets are green. Hopefully everything's vibing within your lives. Mtali, Corwin, Bosch, thank you guys so much for coming on through. And anybody that's watching there afterwards, I'll catch you tomorrow because it is Friday. Enjoy your afternoon. See you soon. Peace.